Hey guys, and welcome back. So just before I go ahead and watch this trailer, I want to let you know that I'm going in with a negative outlook on this before I even start. Mainly because New Warriors was such a garbage pile. It was so bad that has completely destroyed any expectations of Marvel doing any good in the next few series that they release. And secondly, because I've had some minor spoilers. So a lot of the mentors in this, the X-Men, have sidekicks, and a lot of those sidekicks have the identical abilities to the X-Men that are training them, and it feels like they've done it on purpose from what I've heard, that they've literally just taken Cyclops, for example, and made him into a black female for some reason. I don't know why they've done that. And my opinions on this before watching the trailer is, Marvel, please can you come up with some really good characters and not clones of other characters. I'm sick of this happening over and over. They are just spoiling everything right now. They keep rebooting stuff. They can't come up with really great original characters. So I'm hoping that the trailer actually, changes my opinion, but I'm not holding out hopes. I've also heard that this trailer has a lot of dislikes, so I've pretty much spoiled it for myself by listening to what people have to say about the trailer before watching the trailer. So now that I've said my bit, let's watch the trailer. I don't want to do this, but I do. You can see what I mean by female gambit.
There's so many things I could tease about Children of the Atom, but I will say one thing, and that's new characters.
X-Men is supposed to be something that is, important to the now, and so what is more now than Zoomers?
Children of the Atom has 5 new characters at the heart of it that Vita very meticulously wrote out entire backstories and histories and families and anything you want to know about these characters. Vita has thought about it already.
One of them has a TikTok. One of them has a fitness Insta. One of them is basically the moderator for the mutant subreddit. One of them is a cosplayer, and the other one makes mutant music. For so long, it's like the larger media in the X-Men universe is like, mutants are bad, and like the X-Men are evil because they're mutants, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what would Zoomers think of that? They would be like, no, they're great.
How the X-Men react to these new characters who are their sidekicks is a major part of the story that is going to have all sorts of ripples through their titles and ours.
But also, it's an X-Men comic. There's going to be powers, and there's going to be punching, and there's going to be bad guys, and all that kind of stuff.
I'm very excited to have Vita Ayala and Bernard Chang as part of this title.
Bernard really, really brought the thunder on this. It's really incredibly dynamic.
Because he not only had to design these superhero identities, but also these civilian identities, and like people's moms, and like their little brother, and he's making these characters real and whole in a way that a lot of artists probably couldn't.
X-Men was some of my first comics ever, and to be able to play in that universe and also to add to that universe is really a dream come true.
So if you've never read an X-Men book before and you're only familiar with them in other mediums, this is a great place to start off.
It's almost like the kids are our perspective, so anything that you don't know, you're discovering it through these kids. I don't think we've seen this perspective in X-Men comics before. I think people are going to super dig it.
Right. I didn't want to speak too much through that because I didn't want to miss anything they said, but I can see what people are talking about. The main thing that irked me about that though is that one is a TikTok, one owns like a subreddit, one's a cosplayer. Like, no, why? Like, I have a TikTok, I cosplay. Oh wow, it's super relevant. No, it's not. No. We don't read comics. Well, I don't read comics to see somebody that is basically me in a comic. I read comics to see some people that I would like to become. So I wouldn't want to be somebody who's obsessed with TikTok. I wouldn't want to be somebody who's obsessed with Reddit. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really know how to put it into words without offending people. But it's not like it's uncool to cosplay, it's uncool to do Reddit. Like, that's what everybody does nowadays. Everybody has a hobby. And I guess they're trying to make it relatable for young children. But they can do that in other ways. They've always done it in other ways. They've never been very, oh, this is real world happening now. I just really don't like it. I don't like it at all. And that might just be me being, I want to say old, but everyone's like, you're not old. I was born in the 80s. I'm old. As far as this age of comic book goes, because it is not aimed at me. And like I said in New Warriors, I don't care if it's aimed at me or not. If it's a comic book, I'll read it. It's aimed at me. But I read comic books to escape from reality. I read comic books because I want to escape from everyday life. I don't want to read about comic books about some kid who's trying to get famous on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I guess, like, they could show a snippet of that in a series being like, oh, hold on, before I go save this, I gotta, do a TikTok, and then Cyclops being like, no, we gotta go now because these are people's lives, and scolding them. Like, other than that, I don't see why they have to put, like, stuff like that in there. Like, it's just irrelevant. It's like, oh, did you know that Batman's favourite hobby is eating quiche? It's irrelevant. That's not what I read comic books for, and I just don't enjoy it. As far as the superheroes go, like, Nightcrawler, what? It's like, the heroes have put them in outfits that are very nostalgic to that character, but that's not really developing a sidekick as its own character. It's like, oh, here you go, here's my cowl, but I'm not finished wearing that cowl, so you can just dress as me as like a little mini clone. I don't know, I'm not enjoying the way comics are going recently, and I know not all comics are doing this, but Marvel is very guilty of trying to pander to a young audience and bring new kids in. But I think the best way they can do that is by releasing films of, comics that are established. Like, Deadpool goes down really well. I know it's not for kids, but the Avengers went down extremely well. They need to do more like that, and that will get kids into comic books if they want to get into comic books. If they don't want to get into comic books, there's no point aiming your demographic at somebody who doesn't want to read it in the first place. There's no point. Just because it has, like, the word TikTok or cosplay or Reddit in there, people are not going to read it because it's like, oh, I know about that. Oh, it's the only other thing that's mentioned in it. No, we live on a planet where you can pretty much go on Facebook and somebody on Facebook's got a TikTok. It's not like, oh, wow, that's so unique and special to me. And it might sound like I'm picking on these three. I literally can't remember what the other two were into. But it baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. And I feel like I'm ranting, but I just need to get it out of my system. And I regret watching it, but I don't regret watching it because I need to see what Marvel's becoming. And if this is all in lineup, like a series every week until April Fool's, and them going, haha, April Fool's, this is the actual new comic, that would be amazing. I would love that. Thank you so much, Marvel, for like frustrating us all for many weeks before April's Fool's. But I can't see that happening. I think that this is genuinely where they're going with their comics, and I'm not supporting them. I have watched 2 of their trailers, so I've given them 2 views, and I know that they're making money off YouTube, but I am not going to be watching more unless somebody recommends that it's a really good trailer, because Marvel is very much annoying me right now. They need to come up with genuine great heroes, and they don't need to come up with a full team straight away. What's wrong with just having one great character and developing their story, or even adding them? Because if it is a great character, they can add them to an existing team, and that would do just as well. But right now, they're coming up with characters which are garbage. In the trailer, they mentioned that that they're really relatable, and they got mums and dads, and they've got backstories. Well, yeah, I'm assuming most people have got parents, even if their parents are not their biological parents. Most people have got parents. I don't understand how that makes them super relatable straight away. And as far as backstories, you went, oh, they've got really great backstories. One's got TikTok. Like, you can't... that doesn't merge. Maybe give us a little taster of their backstories, and maybe then you'll get a better response. But anyway, that's pretty much all that I'm going into, otherwise I'll end up exploding with anger. So I'm really sorry if I don't do any more Marvel reaction trailers, because I don't even want to get into the characters. I've seen them and I'm not happy with any of their designs. Bring back the old Marvel. The characters are definitely not worth talking about. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!